Dave, you've been at this for a long time, and I know it's been some victories and also maybe some challenges as you go along the way. I mean, for folks who are starting off, can you give them some advice there in terms of what is probably one of the challenges you have gone through, and that most people who are experienced go through, like yourself, and how did you overcome that type of a challenge in your career so you can continue to move on and reach the destiny that you are here today?
Let me tell you about my biggest mistake, and I'll also tell you in the 20 years of teaching, what I see the mistakes other people make.
Right.
The biggest mistake was I went too big too fast. I bought a 400-unit property in Huntsville, Alabama, that was 26% occupied. Never should have bought it. I had already owned 800 units at that time. I had rehabbed a ton of properties here in Boston. I thought, 400 units is just like a ton of smaller properties, all just mixed together. I was so wrong. I didn't know what I didn't know. It took 6 years out of my life to run that deal as I'm trying to do other things, and it was just awful. So going too big too fast, especially in a repositioning, is a mistake that people will make. I was just on a call the other day inside of my own organization, and somebody asked me if they should do a 31 unit empty property. And I said, well, how many deals have you done so far? And they said, this will be my first. And I said, don't do it. Don't do it unless you have a partner, but it's a good deal. I said, listen, unless you have a partner that understands how to do those types of deals, don't do it, because you're going to waste a lot of time. It may not even be successful, and you're going to waste a lot of time if it is. And there's so many easier deals, momentum plays that you could have been doing in the meantime, making money.
Right.
So this is the advice for everybody. And I started teaching in 2002. I didn't learn this until 2005. I learned that it's much easier to do bigger deals, 100+ unit deals. So that's what I would teach, but I didn't just start doing 100+ unit deals. I started doing smaller deals, and I worked my way up, and because of fear. So when my people weren't as successful as I thought they should be, when I first started teaching, I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not a good teacher? Because I knew the system worked. And then it turned out, from the feedback I got, I started calling people, I realized that even though they know from the training that 100-unit deal is easier, subconsciously and psychologically, they weren't ready for it, but yet they still wanted to do it. So they were sabotaging themselves. They were finding reasons not to do those deals. And then I thought to myself, well, these people are going through the same journey that I went on. What were the emotions that I had as I went through that journey? So I did what I was comfortable with. I did a small deal. I did a 3-unit deal, right? So I went back and I started teaching people, doesn't matter what size deal you do, the most important thing is that you do a deal, because your first deal is the hardest deal to do. So get that deal under your belt and then move forward from there. And you will start to, a 3-unit deal will get you, your next deal will be a 30-unit deal, because you have all the confidence, the next deal will be a 100-unit deal. The one thing I know, you get into your first deal, and this has been proven over and over again, and this is exactly what happened to me. If you remember what I talked about at the very beginning of this, is when somebody does their first deal, their second deal is usually 2 or 3 months away. It comes very quickly. And the reason is because to do that first deal, you have to get your systems in place. You have to get your team in place. And then you have gone through the entire process and closed that deal. And now it actually works, and you have all the confidence in the world. But because the team and the systems are in place, that's why that second deal comes in. Because you've already got the motor going, and then the third deal comes in, and then the fourth and fifth deal comes in. And then we get calls from clients that say, Dave, I got 5 deals going on, and I got to work on my systems. I got to work on my systems. And so that's usually what happens. So, for the people just starting out, just work on your first goal is your very first deal. You may have a goal of, I want to have $10,000 a month positive cash flow, or I want to own 100 units or 1,000 units. Doesn't matter. First goal, first deal, doesn't matter what size it is.
And it sounds counterintuitive, right? I mean, it's just like, okay, how can a 100-unit deal be easier than a 10-unit deal, right? It does sound counterintuitive.